Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or as we like to say here at Shady Acres Wood Shop, howdy. This look familiar to you? I turned this a couple of months ago. I called it an edgy vase, and I was talking about the top edge here. Well, I noticed, boy, that doesn't look so good because the light was coming through the window. And I don't know if you can see it. Can you see any problems with the finish on this? The light has to be just the right way. And I looked back at the video for this and I didn't see it in the video. And no one commented on it, and normally they would. But the top, I don't think I turned the top. I sanded it, I finished it. I don't think I turned it. And it's sort of blotchy. And it's smooth to the touch, it's smooth, but it also has, I don't know how to describe it, undulations in it, highs and lows, although you can't see them. But anyway, it's a crummy finish. It's just a crummy finish, and I need to fix it because it's driving me nuts. I can't have anything like that in my house where somebody might come look at it. So we're going to fix it today. So then the problem becomes how we're going to hold it on the lathe, how we're going to drive it. I no longer have a tenon here. I don't have a recess. All I have is where the tenon used to be. It's going to go this way so that I can work on the top edge of it. So how am I going to drive it? How am I going to hold it on here? Well, if you look in the bottom, I used a drill bit to drill this out in here. And you can see the center point of that drill bit still in the wood down there. Well, my live center will fit right into that center point. And what that'll do is it'll center the piece for me. Then all I have to do is bring this up and press it against something. Press it against what? Well, you can see that my woodworm screw is in my chuck, and then I've spun this 1/4 inch spacer on here. That's because I don't want the woodworm screw to stick out too much, because this is not, without this it sticks out about 3/4 of an inch, and this wood is just over 5/8 of an inch, so this would poke through the wood and I can't have that. So I put the spacer on there, and it'll easily grab this piece of plywood, to which I have applied some double-faced tape. So I'm just going to thread this on here, easy peasy, and then I'll just peel off my double-faced tape. Now I can't touch this to that until this is centered. So I'm going to center that on my live center, bring it up here, lock down my tailstock, and slowly advance this and watch so that I know that it's setting firmly all the way around. That's the only way I can center this, and if I don't center it, we're going to have a problem. Okay, we got it. Now I can just apply pressure with my live center, and I'll let that set up there for a few minutes. I'll come back and we will smooth out this top with a chisel, sand it, refinish it. Well, now that I have this all mounted up and have a chance to think about it, think it through, which apparently I didn't do, which is typical for me. I could have saved myself a little bit of time. This double-faced tape up here is just to provide a friction drive, and I could have done that with just a non-slip cloth there instead of the tape, and then I wouldn't have to worry about getting that tape off the bottom later. Live and learn. I can see now that no, I did not turn the top of this, and the reason I know is because if I hold my thumb over here where I'm just touching this top edge and then turn the piece around, now it's touching my thumb, now it's not. It's missing by about 1/4 inch. So I never turned the top of this. It should be flat all the way across. Just one of those things, I guess. I don't know, must have been a bad day. Anyway, so we're going to be turning at 520 RPM. I'm going to use a 1/2 inch super sharp bowl gouge, mask and face shield on. Now we're flat. There is some punkiness in here, of course. That hasn't changed any. It was there before. See if I can get a little bit closer and get a little tiny bit smoother cut. I said cut, but I'm shear scraping instead. Yeah, that's that's much better, much better. Well, that's really all it needed, other than now I have to sand it and finish it again. So stand by for sanding. Well, I can't say I'm glad that this happened, but what I do like, a nice side effect is I had this rounded over before, and now it's kind of sharp, abrupt, and I like that a lot better in this particular case. Makes it kind of, I don't know, edgy. Well, edgy, edgy vase. I forgot it's called an edgy vase. Well, yeah, it kind of gives it an edge. I don't know. I like it anyway. But I am going to be sanding with my 2-inch sanding disc. I'm going to start at 80 grit because of that punkiness in there. But you know, I'm just not going to be able to sand through it. I'm sure it's all through the wood. But maybe anyway. Starting at 80 grit, I'll work up through 400 grit. I'll show you what that looks like as soon as I get my mask on. The lathe is spinning forward at 350 RPM. And then in reverse as well. And then, like I say, just stepping through the grits up to 400. I'll bring it back here in a bit and we'll put some sanding sealer on there. See you in a bit. I have to be very careful now not to get this sanding sealer onto my shellac finish on the inside of this and as well on the outside edge there. And I guess it turned out to be a good idea to use that tape. It's not necessary, but it does give me unfettered access to all of this for sanding and finishing, which is kind of nice. It is the way I prefer it, but I could have lived with it the other way. Yeah, I can see grain in there that I couldn't see before. I don't know if you see that going this way. I didn't see that before. It's too bad about the punkiness, but you know, that's okay. It's just the way this one got made, that's all. Yeah, that's cool grain. I don't know what you call that. Oh, I'm gonna like this a lot better. I noticed this yesterday, I noticed the problem yesterday, and I didn't sleep so well last night. A small thing, I guess, but you know, different things bother different people. Okay, well, that's the first of probably 2 or 3 coats of this sanding sealer, and then I'll put on a couple of coats of shellac to match the outside and the inside, and I'll bring it back here in a little bit and we'll take a look at it. Oh, easy peasy. Look at that. That's a good way to do it, huh? Use a heat gun. I was going to do that next time I use hot glue as well. And because this had finish on the bottom, the glue didn't stick, the glue from the tape. I mean, it stuck, but it didn't leave a residue this time. Yay! Well, look at that. Let's take a look at my new work. So what was the purpose of this video? Well, this has happened to me, I don't know, not often, 4 or 5 times, maybe 6 times out of a couple of 100 turnings, that I get it in the house, it's in there a few days maybe, I look at it now and then, and once in a while the light hits it just right, or my angle is just right, and I can see, well, that's not right. I didn't do a good job there. I need to fix that. And so I want to impress upon you, maybe, if you're interested, that if you have something like that in the house and you know it's not right, you just know it's not right, you're not going to be happy until it is right. Take it back out, put it back on the lathe, and fix it. Or maybe you don't have to put it on the lathe. Maybe you have some way of fixing it without doing that. That's terrific too, however it works for you. But don't live with something that you're just not happy with, because you're going to hate it. You're going to hate it, I'm telling you. And once you fix it like I just did, now you're going to love it. And I love this. And this, see, can you see this grain? I don't know if that's showing up. It's kind of a vertical grain, the way I'm holding the piece. I don't mean vertical otherwise, but the way I'm holding it, this grain going up and down here, it's kind of a real light colored. I don't know if it has a name or not, but I could not see that before. It just wasn't there. And the spalting, the dark spalting lines, those were nowhere near as vibrant as they are now. They more closely match what's inside, the darker colors in there. So, and it feels better. It just feels way, way better. So I'm tickled with it. Now I like it. I know that sometimes it can be very difficult to figure out how to mount it back on the lathe, and that's why maybe we don't take it back out and fix it. Because that tenon is gone, or maybe the piece has shrunk up a little bit and the recess that you left is no longer concentric, no longer circular. It won't fit well. The piece is going to wobble when you're trying to turn it to fix it. Do something else. Do hot glue. Put it on there with some hot glue. You're going to have to find the center. Maybe you're going to have to do some turning, maybe just some sanding and refinishing. I don't know. But whatever it is, do it. Don't put it off. You'll be so much happier, like I am now. Okay, well, so that's the video for this week. I know it's not a lot. I've got another piece planned for next week that is a little bit more than this. Well, quite a little bit more than this. So I hope you'll tune in next week. And next week, I believe, what's today? Today's something like the 27th of April. Yeah, 27th of April. Still not quite myself. I'm getting there. So next week will be like the first week of May. Thursday is when I normally put out my videos. I'm thinking Wednesday next week. Whatever, I don't know what date that is. Something like the 5th or something like that. 5th of April or May, I mean. I don't know, don't quote me. It's somewhere around there. The day before next Thursday. That's when we'll do the drawing for the winner for the carbide tool set that I'm giving away. So be sure you tune in for that. Watch for that. Be sure you've rung that bell so you get notified when that video goes up and find out if you are the winner. I hope you are. Thank you so much for watching this week. I appreciate it. Have a really great week, and we'll see you next week. This is Phil, Shady Acres Wood Shop, signing off.